Chapter 4, Leaky Lunch.
KJ, time to make a plan of action. We need to make lunch for the kids with the ruined sack lunches. Why go to gather pots and bowls from the cafeteria? You look in the spell book and see if there's a spell to make sandwiches.
Okie doke.
Dan went to the cafeteria and found the lunch ladies.
May I borrow a big pot and some bowls?
Why do you need them?
Well, a dragon ate our lunches, so we're making a tomato soup.
What? I'm going to call the librarian and tell her to only check you out non-fiction books. You have been reading too much fantasy.
No. We're dragon ate tables and our lunches got squashed, so we're making tomato soup.
Oh, why did you just say so? So that's why you're making tomato soup. Do you need spoons too?
Yes, thank you.
Dan headed back to the classroom with the big pot full of bowls and spoons when he heard and saw a very strange thing in the hallway for the second time that day. KJ was shouting at the top of his lungs.
Beach witches! Beach witches! Beach witches!
What on earth are you doing, KJ?
You told me to make sandwiches.
I meant sandwiches, like with bread and cheese, man.
Oh.
There were 5 magnificent sandcastle witches lined up in the hallway.
Come on, it is almost lunchtime. Let's go to the office and make an announcement about lunch.
Dan and KJ went down to the office and got permission to use a microphone.
Attention, attention!
Everyone who got their lunch ruined, meet us in Miss Kathy's room.
After the announcement, Dan and KJ went to Miss Kathy's room to get everything ready. Dan set out the pot and bowls on Miss Kathy's PC desk. KJ set to work performing the Suppadolly spell. He followed the directions exactly.
Suppidolly.
This time, the soup is leaking out of your finger without making a mess. Good job.
Miss Kathy walked over to her PC desk with a look of bewilderment.
Okay, what just happened? Your page.
The soup stopped squirting from his finger. Then he raised his finger and pointed it at Miss Kathy.
Foggy do. Why is my classroom so foggy? I cannot see a thing.
I can see just fine, Miss Kathy. You know what they say, the eyes are the first to go.
Suppidolly.
Maybe you need a contact lenses.
KJ finished filling the pot with soup, and Dan ladled it into the bowls.
By the way, how did you learn that foggy spell?
I read it in the spell book when I was learning to make the witches.
Did you learn one for cleaning up sand?
KJ glared at Dan and gave him a shove. Miss Kathy was furiously rubbing her eyes.
Oh no! I'm going to need glasses, but I just don't understand. I could see fine this morning.
The students lined up to get soup. A girl named Jenny, in a tie-dye shirt, and her friend with the brown hair were very enthusiastic about lunch.
Yummy! These tomato soups for lunch, my favorite. When did you guys learn to cook?
Dan mumbled to KJ.
Don't ask her that.
KJ was busy going to each student and saying the spell, "Handy cheese." As a cheese sandwich appeared in his hand, he passed them out for the students to eat with their tomato soup.
Would you like a sandwich? Handy cheese, here you go.
Cool! When did you learn such cool magic tricks, KJ?
Anyone can do it if you read the right book.
Having KJ is like having our very own Harry Potter.
Chimed in Jenny as she looked admiringly at KJ. Chapter 5, Afternoon Arrangement. Once everyone had finished lunch, Dan and KJ took the pots, bowls, and spoons to the cafeteria. Then they wondered what to do next.
Let's go to science lab to study the spellbook and check on the lizard.
The boys entered the lab and walked toward the desks. Suddenly, KJ jumped back and started screaming.
Dragon! It's a dragon!
Shh! Looking over at the snake aquarium, Dan saw the dragon that had eaten their lunches peering through the glass at the little lizards. Its tongue flickered against the glass.
It is going to eat them!
The little lizard creatures started piling on top of each other, trying to get to the top of the aquarium. The dragon started making soft, growling, cooing noises that sounded like a lullaby as it looked into the aquarium.
Look, they're not scared of her at all. They want to go to her. I think that dragon is their mother. They must be baby dragons and not little lizards.
I don't know about that. Let me see.
The boys tiptoed nearer to the dragon and the babies to take a better look.
Greetings, boys. I have been expecting you. I need your help.
KJ's face turned pale white and he fell over backwards in a faint. Dan stood stock still with his mouth hanging open. Although he had read over 100 fantasy books, this was too much for him to believe. The dragon nudged Dan with her tail to get his attention.
Turn to page 911 and read the spell to help out your friend.
Are you their mother?
Yes, I am their mother, but right now you have to pick up the spell book and help your friend.
Okay, here's page 911. Medimia Hilayua.
He glanced at KJ. Nothing had changed, so he continued reading.
Medimia Hilayua. Point at the being that is afflicted or dead and chant the spell Medimia Hilayua as many times as the age of the afflicted.
Dan thought of KJ's birthday party last week. KJ had finally caught up with him and turned 11 years old.
Medimia Hilayua. 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 Medimia Hilayua.
What just happened?
You fainted, dude. So I just did a spell to wake you up. Are you okay?
KJ, don't worry. I'm not gonna hurt you.
As the dragon talked, her snake-like tongue moved back and forth, which scared KJ even more.
So, what do you want from us?
Our portal is in danger. Your principal has approved a plan to build a basketball court in front of your school. The plan calls for the big tree to be cut down. Our portal to Wizard World is in that big tree.
The boys stared at the dragon for a while, in silence.
So, you have a portal.
What is Wizard World?
Wizard World is a place where wizards and their friends live. It's same as your Earth, but it's different in wizard kinds of ways.
Well, how do you know about the basketball court? Even I don't know anything about that.
Oh, we send one wizard in disguise to every single school meeting. When they go to meetings, they turn themselves into a bottle of water that no one knows that they are there. Then they come back to Wizard World and report. That's how we find out about the plan to cut down the portal tree.
Which tree is it? Will you show us? Is it the one with the weird symbols?
Yes, let's go look at it. But first, I think I have to disguise myself. I think I'll turn into a girl.
How about turning into a water bottle? I'm kind of thirsty.
Dan glared at KJ. When they looked back at the dragon, she had turned into a regular-looking teenager in a striped dress. The stripes were the same colors as the dragon. The dragon girl then led them out the front door of the school and to the portal tree.
It is the second tree to the right, the big one. The portal is where the writing is on the tree.
We were just looking at those marks this morning and wondering what they meant.
It says, all who enter are welcome.
Dan and KJ stared up at the tree in amazement.
So we can visit Wizard World?
Well, maybe when the time is right. There's a trick getting into the portal, but right now, let's concentrate on saving the portal, please.
If there's a basketball court near the driveway, it won't be safe. The ball could bounce right in front of the car, and if someone tried to get it, they might get hit.
We just have to say that building a basketball court by the driveway is stupid.
No, we have to say it more politely and explain about the danger.
I knew I can count on you guys. Group hug.
We'll go talk to principal right now.
So the boys walked directly to the principal's office, and luckily, the principal was at her desk.
We have something to say about the plans for the basketball court.
Well, I don't know how you found out about it, but since the basketball court is for children, I will listen to your opinions.
I think that it would be dangerous to build basketball court by the driveway.
Well, we could build a fence.
Ma'am, the ball could easily bounce over the fence.
You make a good point. I delayed the construction order.
Maybe it could be built behind the cafeteria. Then we could play basketball after lunch.
You make a good point. I delayed the construction order.
Dan smiled at KJ approvingly. It was just about the first right thing he had said all day. Then there was a knock at the principal's door. There stood the town's newspaper reporter.
Excuse me, I just got a call from a school volunteer parents. Did your school have a sand skirting competition or something?
No, yes, we are celebrating. These boys are my assistants in planning for our new basketball court. So we are celebrating by having a beach party.
KJ, this fella is the sandcastle artist.
Will you please step into the hallway so I can take your picture?
So they all walked into the hallway and stood in front of the beach witches and posed for a picture.
Okay, say kimchi. Looks like great front page material for tomorrow's paper.
As the reporter was leaving, Dan and KJ saw the dragon girl walking toward the portal tree with the school supply box tucked securely under her arm.
Come back inside the school, boys. You need to get back to class.